Hi everyone and welcome to Joy Beyond Dentistry. We're kicking 2026 with something that we are very excited about, something that we really want to get started, a new project, a new community. I'm here with Dr. Noemi Cruz-Orcutt. Go ahead, Noemi, and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joy Beyond Dentistry. I'm Dr. Noemi Cruz-Orcutt, and I live and practice in Iowa. And I'm so excited, as well as Dr. Duran, to get this project started. And it's a simple project, but it has a lot of meaning. We are excited to communicate what joy is all about, what brings us joy in our daily practices, and how we can spread it around. So, welcome.
Thank you, Noemi. I am Dr. Ramon Duran, and I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Been in dentistry for 41 years. Graduated in 1984. I have seen a lot. I've made all the mistakes that you can think of, and there's still a lot more to make. I'm not done yet. Live in Puerto Rico, as I said, been here all my life. I'm the father of five children. Started my practice in 1988 with my wife, Yvette Martinez. So, Noemi, how did this idea came up into your mind? What's the why behind it?
When I was looking at goals for 2025, this phrase came to my mind. It just came to mind, Joy Beyond Dentistry. And this is as I'm looking at my personal, spiritual, physical, and professional goals. And at the moment, I didn't know what it meant, but I knew it had a meaning that was going to mean something in the future. And I remember sharing it with you, Dr. Duran, and I'm like, I don't know what this means right now, but just I want to share with you that this phrase "joy beyond dentistry" came to mind, and here we are.
Love that, Noemi. Because it's really true. When we find joy in what we do, we can spread to those that we touch. We're in constant contact with other people at a very close range. We're just an amazing profession. We have a great ability to change people's lives. So if we find more joy in what we do, there's no question that we can make a difference in those around us. So Noemi, can you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about you, your family, where you are in Iowa?
Yeah, so I have two kids. Lucas, my husband and I have two kids. Lucas is 13 and Adalis is 9. We live in Mason City, Iowa. It's a smaller community. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, so Iowa is quite different weather-wise to where I grew up, but I went to dental school in Iowa and really enjoy the community and the people here, and it's a great place to practice.
So getting back to the why we're doing Joy Beyond Dentistry. Our profession is quite exciting, interesting, but it demands a lot from us and takes our energy and sometimes can even take our joy. So how do we find it and so that we're able to spread it to those around us? And one of the things that we gotta think of is finding balance. And balance is a word that we hear constantly. Sometimes not that easy to find. Balance is all about how it feels at the end of the day. So when we think about joy being on industry, we have to think about all those areas in our life that we're juggling with, trying to balance them together. Family, our own health, taking care of ourselves, exercise, our spirituality, our intellect. So many areas that we're at the same time, many balls that we're trying to keep in the air at the same time. What do you think, Noemi?
It's interesting when we hear balance, and it almost feels like a little bit guilty when we feel like we don't have balance in our lives. We're like, well, we're working, we're focusing on our careers, but we have a family. We also want to take care of ourselves. We also want to have leisure and travel and enjoy ourselves. And when we hear a lot about, oh, we need balance in our life, it can be a little bit stressful because I'm like, well, I don't feel like I have that balance. I don't have everything figured out. I don't have a perfect balance between home and work and all of that. But one time I heard that and after that I have heard it a couple of times, that it's like there's not such a thing as a balance. It's just where do we prioritize what is important at this time, and putting that time and those priorities. It may be family first and work, whatever it may be, but there's not such a thing that we're going to have 25% of like work, 25% at home, 25 leisure, 25. It's just kind of it could become a little bit stressful that way when we try to force balance, right? So when we look at it in a healthier way of like, well, this is what I have going on right now. My career might be needing a little bit more of my time right now, and it might feel out of balance, but we're aware of it and we feel like we may have some more control and accept that it's not 100% perfect.
Yeah, totally right. To me, when I think of balance, at the end of the day, you're ready to go to bed and think about your day. I think that it has to feel good. I did my best with what I had today. I put all my efforts with my family, with my team, with my patients, with myself. So I did my best in each one of those. To me, that's when I will feel like it was balanced, even though might have been a lot more in one area than the other, but it has to feel good. And thinking about balance and things that can alter that balance in our life, Noemi, I know you had quite a situation back in 2018 that was quite a strike to your balance. Can you tell us a little bit more about it? I'm sure that the audience will be quite interested in hearing about it.
Yes, in 2018, definitely there was an event that altered my balance at that time. And I had the practice for 3 years, getting everything as a business owner established and starting to feel comfortable to where we were at. And then 2018, New Year's Eve, we had a fire that totally destroyed the practice. And yeah, at that moment, it kind of rocks your world. And well, I thought I had everything figured out. And as dentists, we're always trying to control and think that we have everything calculated. And when something like that happens, it was a reminder that anything can happen. And how do we move forward when something comes up? And this is not a daily thing of, oh, I have a team member that is sick, or I have some cancellations that I have to deal with, or we don't have the lab case here. This was something that I remember thinking, I don't have a place to practice or see my patients for I don't know how long. So we'll talk a little bit more about that event and how everything happened. But getting back to balance, I want to share it because yes, at that moment there was not such a thing as complete balance in my life. We had that same New Year's Day is my son's birthday, so I remember dealing with the fire and not telling my son that we had a fire until the day after his birthday, because I didn't want his birthday to be related to or affect the event of the fire to affect his day, right? So that was something that we had to balance. How do we're dealing with all the extra stuff, but not coming home and telling my son that, oh, we had a fire in mom's office, so we had to postpone. No, we still celebrated his birthday. So we'll talk a little bit more, like I said, about all that event. But I remember at that time, that event was a critical point in my career and in my life. And I say that after the fire, I have become a happier person. And it sounds ironic, but at that moment, I realized that you can lose a lot in a short period of time, but then we also kept a lot. And focusing at that time of what we didn't lose was key to continue moving forward and also to find joy along the way. What was the excitement for me at that time? Well, I knew we didn't lose any people, so that was key. We only lost material stuff. And I decided to focus on what type of practice I wanted to rebuild. Like, how do I want my practice to look? How do I want to be felt? And focusing on that took away I feel so bad about myself that I have to deal with all of this. So that's a little bit about that event.
To me, Noemi, it's an amazing story. The way you handle it is just impressive. And without a question, I would love for you to share a little bit more about it and maybe bring some images. Maybe we might do that in our next episode. We are, through our life and our careers, we're gonna hit walls too many times, and it's our choice how we get to handle those. And sometimes it's about just getting up, climbing over that wall, and just keep moving forward. And when you look back, and as you were saying, I know you feel that there's a lot of joy in the way you manage it, in the way you went over those situations, the way you dealt with your staff and the people around you, your patients. So something that was dramatic and tragic turned out into a beautiful story, into a very joyful situation for you. And you have developed quite an impressive practice. I have had the opportunity to be there with your team, and it's really, really, really a beautiful culture what you have done. I can see your passion, the way you enjoy doing dentistry. That's something that we share, that passion for dentistry. And one of the things that makes it that we find a lot of joy is, trying to challenge ourselves and keep us growing and getting better. So that leads me to the area of challenging ourselves, challenging our intellect, and that's where continuing education comes. And I know you have done a lot, Noemi, as myself. I consider myself an eternal student. And so what can you tell us about continuing education and your journey through the years?
Yeah, continuing education has been a huge part of my career and keeping me excited to come back to work. Reasons why learning new techniques obviously encourages us to do more in our practices, but also the connections that you make with colleagues and like-minded people. That has been a huge part of my career, finding mentors, finding other dentists, because I practice by myself. I am by myself. I'm a solo practitioner, so it could feel a little lonely, and having these groups of people that you can have a WhatsApp group or keep in touch with, it just keeps you motivated. So then with continuing education during the fire, I was finishing my curriculum with the Dawson Academy. And once we rebuilt the practice, and the week before we were moving to the new building, I took my whole team to St. Petersburg to the Dawson Academy, and that was a neat uh, time because it was like, well, if we're gonna come back, we're gonna come back stronger. We're going to implement everything that I have learned. So I wanted them to be part of it, to come back and implement it with me. So yes, with continuing education, it just keeps us passionate about what we're doing, and a huge part of being joyful is to have passion and a purpose. And because if we're living without passion, it's hard to feel happy, right? It's just doing your job because you just want to do it for money or for just to make a living is not as exciting as when we're passionate about it. You're the same way, Dr. Duran. You're still, after 41 years, you still go to continuing education and continue learning.
Yeah, to me, that's part of where the fun of dentistry is. When we have the ability, as you were saying, to learn new techniques, see new materials, see new processes. Dentistry has changed in such a dramatic way in the last few years. We're seeing things that I never thought I was going to be seeing. But that keeps the excitement going and keeps the joy in what we do. And when we have the ability to treat our patients with the latest advances and provide them with better results, there's a lot of fun into that. There's a lot of enjoyment into that, and patients can feel that. So to me, continuations is one of the keys of feeling better in what we do every single day. And challenging ourselves. Trying new things, getting out of the routine, pushing ourselves to do the procedures that we have done for a long time. How can I do that better? How can I take it to a different level than where I was? And talking about challenging yourself, pushing yourself to a little higher level. Noemi, I have to congratulate you. Recently, you were officially announced as becoming an accredited member of the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. And that's quite a journey. And I would love for you to share that story with the audience because that's quite an amazing accomplishment. So, congratulations and go ahead.
Thank you, and congratulations to you as well. You are one of the accredited members as well. So, I would say the accreditation journey was probably one of the hardest things I have done after dental school, but it has been one of the most fulfilling, and it has made me become a better dentist for my patients. It has Our team has grown with me during the accreditation process. So it feels like a great accomplishment, and it's funny when I look back at the journey. It did bring a lot of joy at the same time that there was some stress, but every time you accomplish one case or you're seeing things with different eyes that you didn't see before, and then every time it gets easier as you continue to do these cases, it just is very fulfilling. And I'm so glad I did it, and I encourage anyone that is considering it to go ahead and do it as well.
It's an incredible process. To me, it was challenging as well. And it doesn't matter where you're in dentistry, it's just a growth process. It's going to make you better. But the challenge of going through it is just very rewarding. And as I said, it's going to only make you better. So when we find those moments in our careers that we can push ourselves to a different stage, to another level, without a question, it brings a lot of happiness and joy to what we do. And there's so many other things that we want to be sharing with the audience, and which goes with the why we're doing this. And so there are many areas when it comes to balance, and when we come to see at how we deal with our lives every single day, many areas that we want to be looking at and sharing stories with you. We would love to invite some other people to share their successes, to share their stories. But there are several areas that we want to talk more about it. Health, wellness, and I know, Noemi, I know you and your husband, Kevin, are very strong in an area. I know you work out every single day, and that's part of your routine to keep you moving forward and being joyful. So tell us a little bit more about it, because without a question, we're going to bring that topic back in one of the future episodes. So it's talking about health, wellness, and talking about working out and pushing ourselves and taking care of ourselves.
Yes, is wellness is a big part of how we feel, right? If we're healthy, we're gonna feel good, and we're gonna be able to be joyful around the people that are around us. And for us, working out in the morning, taking charge of, it feels like you have control before you start your day, and things can come at you, but you already did a hard workout, so it's okay. You have control over what's going on. And it also, for our profession, we it's hard on our bodies, so we can feel aches and pains sometimes. So working out is very important to maintain our physical body strong and be able to do the dentistry we enjoy doing for as long as we can. So it's a critical part of what we do to take care of ourselves. You mentioned, as we move forward with other episodes, we do want to bring other dentists and non-dentists to talk to us about challenges and how do we manage it, because it's the titles is Joy Beyond Dentistry, but it's not that it's all like roses and there's no challenges. We also want to, and I know, Dr. Duran, you have had in your life some challenges that you'll probably be sharing with us about, and how you manage that and how you stay positive and continue to move forward in practice with everything going on. And we want to focus on what's reality. It's and accepting that not everything is perfect. I know for myself, dentists can be, we tend to be some perfectionists, right? And especially when we're looking at millimeters and tiny details, and we blow them up on a camera, and then we can be very hard on ourselves. but also, we realize that, and we want to make sure that we see all the good around us as well, because it just we can get neurotic if we're just focusing on little things.
I know, as I said, you're very strong in that area and you have developed that routine and winning that little battle every morning, waking up, getting into the gym and doing your workout. It's just a great way to start your day. I kind of start mine in a similar way. I wake up half asleep, get to the coffee machine, get an espresso, a cortado, and that's how I get started. And then I sit down in the floor, pray for a little bit, and then my next step will be doing my workout of the day. And that's kind of what gets me going. And if I miss it, again, there's something that was not there that I needed to get me going. As we were saying, our profession is really tough in ourselves. So we got to take good care of ourselves. So we will spend some time talking about nutrition, wellness, and working out, because that can make a significant difference in the way we feel at the end of the day. And if we feel good at the end of the day, we're going to be a lot nicer when we get home with our families and those around us. So that's a great way of staying joyful and spreading it to those around us. So Noemi, as we're moving forward, what are some of the things that you have in mind to as we continue the future episodes?
Yeah, so we would love to, like I mentioned, bring other dentists and non-dentists to our podcast to talk about any challenges that they have gone through in their in their career and outside of their career, and how do they manage um, those to stay balanced, without knowing that balance is not 100%, but and also find joy. What are hobbies? What are things that they do outside of dentistry to stay healthy mentally, spiritually, physically, and to keep them engaged to and passionate about the profession?
Yeah, it's balance is that juggling game, and with, as I said, so many balls in the air. Our bodies, our health, our intellect, our emotions, our relations, our team, our office, our finances. So many things that we're trying to keep in the air, running at the same time, and so we have to look at each one of them and try to put some time in each one of them. One of the areas that we will love to talk about is, I mean, how do you keep your intellect healthy? I mean, reading good books. We need good books and we need good stories that will motivate us to move forward and to keep doing to our best what we do. Noemi, as we come to the end of this episode, what else would you like to share?
Yeah, so other things that we will be talking about is, like I mentioned earlier, as solo practitioners, it could feel lonely. It could be your own little island. And how do we build a dental community, right? Like mentors, friends, and I mentioned with continuing education, but then other ways that we can create those communities, so we feel that we're not alone. Also, our profession is a service profession. We serve others. And how do we do it in our practice with our patients, but also philanthropy? How do we mission trips? And that's something that Dr. Duran and I have been part of, and we'll be talking in other upcoming episodes about philanthropy and mission trips. So those things do bring a lot of joy just by serving others. And I remember the first time I went to a mission trip, it was something I had never experienced. And you think you're going somewhere to help them be happier, but I didn't realize is that they're helping us as much when we're part of it. So something that we're passionate about, and we will be talking more in upcoming episodes about that as well.
Yeah, we have an amazing ability to serve others, and when we serve beyond our office, beyond our profession, where we're giving without expecting anything back, as you said, Noemi, we get a lot more back that you can never imagine. So that brings a lot of joy to our profession. And as you were saying, trying to make others joyful, you end up getting a lot of joy yourself. So without a doubt, all those areas are areas that we want to be covering up in the next few episodes. We want to develop a community to share stories. So we invite the audience to bring your own, to ask questions, to bring some ideas, because definitely something that we want to keep going that will be fulfilling to all of us and make our days nicer, make our days more joyful, and give us the ability to spread that joy to those around us. So as we're coming to an end today, I want to thank everyone for joining us. It has been quite a pleasure to get this project started and being with you today. We want to invite everyone to join this community, something that we want to keep moving forward to, again, bring that joy into our professions and spread it to those all around us. So we invite you to come with some ideas, to share your stories, and stay tuned for the next one. See you.
And remember, joy is a choice.